Welcome to Mystic Musings with Tobie Hewitt. I'm Tobie Hewitt, and I'm your guide through time and space and all points in between. Mystic Musings will give you insight into who you are, why you are here, how to live an authentic life, and where you fit into the universe around you. Join me on this path of mystical exploration. Welcome to episode 53 of Mystic Musings with Tobie Hewitt. This week we will consider synchronicity, passion, and enlightenment as we continue our mystic journey. I am reading a wonderful book about synchronicity and writing entitled Writing by Coincidence, Flowing with Signs and Synchronicity to Write with Passion by Jenna Moore Fuller. It was a truly synchronistic moment when I found this book. I had recently determined to return to my writing roots and dedicate more time to poetry and creative nonfiction. To find a book that spoke so eloquently and passionately about how I pursue my craft was not only gratifying, but also confirmation that these new steps on my path are the necessary ones. I have a passion for writing. I cannot imagine not writing every day, if only a line or two. And strange as it may sound, I love editing, molding the words into music and meaning. As I step further onto this path, it occurs to me that there are many people who may have a passion to do something, especially something creative, but they lack the opportunity and maybe the motivation to dedicate time to what they truly want to do. When we spend our entire days and then lives doing anything less than what we are passionate about, we lose a little of the purpose of why we are here. Yes, we often need to work at jobs that do not serve to fulfill our passion. And oftentimes, this is necessary because our passion may not be one that provides an immediate financial gain. But by not heeding the small voice inside that urges us to write, or paint, or play music, or climb mountains, or visit foreign lands, or help others, we do ourselves as spirits incarnate a disservice. When we are spirits having a physical experience, we are supposed to experience all facets of that incarnation, not only what may be the ones we do not necessarily wish to pursue, but also the ones that we feel are burning in our hearts to do. Maybe you cannot quit your job and fly off to study at an ashram in India, but you can visit one nearby and see if the experience speaks to you and spurs you on to save and one day follow further this desire. Or you may want to write, as I do, and find that there are other life demands that often seem more important, and may often be so. But spending as little as 10 minutes a day writing can help to fulfill that passion, and maybe you will find more time as you continue this practice. Giving in to the passion we feel is very rewarding when we are able to taste the satisfying sweetness of fulfilling our heart's desires. I am very glad to report a marked increase in my joy factor now that I am writing regularly again. But let's return to the idea of synchronicity for a moment, which the dictionary defines as the simultaneous occurrence of events that appear significantly related but have no discernible causal connection. For example, hearing a word on the television as you read the word on the computer. Although there may be no discernible meaning, the act itself is a sign from the universe that you are on the right path. It is a friendly sign of encouragement. It could also have meaning. I always write what I call syncs down, along with the date and the time. Sometimes, after a few of these moments, I can discern a message unfolding. That is quite an interesting experience. It could be a call for me to do something, or a commentary on what I am doing, or on something happening in the larger world around me. it is my practice to acknowledge syncs, and this week was no exception. A quick perusal of Twitter one day gave me notice that this week's episode would be on enlightenment, though so far I cannot discern this to be true. These two quotes gave me the definite feeling there was a larger communication occurring than simply reading tweets. Quote, enlightenment is when a wave realizes it is the ocean, end quote, which seems to be attributed to esoteric empire. And, quote, Gautam Buddha may have known, but to repeat his words does not mean that you are also a knower. Those words can be repeated by a parrot, too, but that parrot cannot become a Buddha, end quote. That quote's by Osho. So far, I was until this very moment curious as to how the first part of this episode meshed with the idea of enlightenment, but now it seems obvious. To attain enlightenment on a somewhat smaller scale than Buddha is to become aware, to gain insight, and perhaps to gain wisdom. As I am giving over more of the inspiration for the podcast writing to spirit, teachers, and masters, I am being informed that when one pursues one's passion, one also gains a measure of enlightenment. As a person addresses the innate calling of their soul to pursue an activity of thought stream, there is an increase in awareness, insight, and indeed wisdom. When we live our lives by treading the path of the mundane, we miss the opportunities to gain the enlightenment that comes from pushing ourselves further by exploring what we feel compelled to discover in ourselves and in the world. When we feel the pull to do more, whether write or serve others or travel to distant lands, what we learn through the experience enlightens us to what we are and what we can become, and that, in doing so, we can further help to contribute to the change we wish to see in the world. So our practice of our passion can lead to enlightenment, which can lead to the fulfillment of our purpose on this plane. Oh, I always like it when I think I'm going in one direction and Spirit connects me to another wider direction. I am looking forward to continuing this method of creating these episodes. Now, for an exercise. One of my favorite writing activities is practicing stream of consciousness writing. All sorts of interesting ideas flow from my fingertips to paper or computer screen. Please try sitting down with paper and writing instrument or at your computer. Close your eyes for a few moments and take a deep breath and clear your mind. When a word or idea arises, open your eyes and starting with that word or idea, write for 5 or even 10 minutes without stopping. You can set a timer if you like before you start. Just let the words pour out and capture them. Don't stop, just keep going. You will be surprised to find that there is meaning or even perhaps communication on something you wanted to know, and now you have a starting place to further pursue it. Maybe it will even serve to answer a question about your passion. Please join me next week for episode 54 of Mystic Musings with Tobie Hewitt, when Spirit will surprise us with new ideas as we continue our mystic journey. Thanks for listening to this episode of Mystic Musings. Please join me every week to continue our exploration of all things mystical that can help you have a more practical and magical life. Please visit my website, tobiehewitt.com, for more information and to read my blog postings. And join me also at pathwaystomindfulness.org to learn how you can schedule a presentation. I'm available for mindfulness training, demonstrations of psychic abilities, and individual readings. I also have a number of books on mystical topics on Amazon.com. I look forward to hearing from you and answering your questions. Please contact me through tobiehewitt.com.